Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am doing some fun art and I thought I would take you guys along with me and you guys can just join me, hang out with me, grab a cup of coffee or some tea and we can just chill while we paint this nail design. Now this design, I love it. I was feeling it for fall. We got the mushrooms, leaves, bugs, we got some moons and stars. I don't know, I was just feeling this look and I had it in my mind and I needed to get it out. But first I wanted to show you, I did pick up this new silicone hand. I purchased it with my own money and I just thought I would show you guys a little bit up close. This is the Alina hand or Aliana hand. This is the half hand, so it doesn't come with the thumb. And I just thought the coloring of it looked so realistic. It also has a magnet built in, and then there's like this stand that it easily magnetizes to, so it's super easy to kind of keep it in place and use the hand for like practicing and things like that. This is really my first time using it, like painting the nails that are in the practice hand, so I just was kind of given my first impressions. I also got a couple thumbs, and they also have a wide range of colors available, which is nice, lovely. I'd love to expand and get some more colors, so that's really nice. So that's just kind of like my initial thoughts on it. Again, this is kind of my first time using it, so I will let you guys know what I think. I just think it looks so far very realistic. When I opened the packaging, my husband was even a little freaked out by it. So for the color that I'm using for the base for this design is called Spellbound from Luxa Polish. It's such a beautiful, like, you know, there's that trend going around right now that's like that cherry, what is it? Cherry mocha, cherry cola nails, something like that. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like a dark cherry color, but this one has the most beautiful shimmer in it. So if you want that look, but you want a shimmer, then I would go with this one because it's stunning. So I did all the nails just in that same color. So super easy, one color, all the nails. Now I'm going in with a matte top coat. This is the Dime Nails Ultimate Matte Top Coat. It's a no wipe matte, and I'm going over all of the nails with this matte top coat because I want to use some pigment, and I like to use the pigment over the matte because it just has a nice like softer look to the design, so it just makes it a little bit nicer for the pigments to sit on top of. So I'm just going to cover all of the nails with the matte top coat, and then we're going to go in with our pigments. Okay, for the pigment, I'm using the Baby Pigment from Magpie Beauty. It's just a pure white pigment, has no glitter or shimmer or anything in it. And then I'm using just this angled fluffy brush. I think you can get them on Amazon. They're really great for working with pigments, and I'm just going to dab that into the center of all of the nails and kind of blend it out a little bit, and it's going to give kind of that aura effect. That's that really popular aura trend nails right now. So I'm just going to, I just want that center to be lighter so that my designs kind of pop, and then it kind of has this cool dark border around the middle. Now I'm going to cover all of the nails with a second coat of matte top coat because I want to seal in that pigment, and then if I do a design and I maybe don't like it or I need to wipe off part of it, it's not going to ruin that pigment and take it off. So I'm going to seal everything in with another coat of matte top coat, and you want to kind of make sure and do a healthy thick layer of your top coat and kind of do a nice glossy layer. That way you aren't dragging that brush, those bristles, through that pigment and then kind of like pulling it and causing it to like be streaky. So you want to do like a nice floaty layer over the top of that pigment. Now for the gel paints that I'm using my Hey Nails palette. This is a gel paint palette that comes with 40 different colors. I do have an entire video unboxing this and showing you guys a little bit more information about this palette, but basically it's 40 gel colors, gel paints that you can use for nail art, and it comes in one palette So it's super convenient to use if you just want to pull this one palette out. You have 40 colors you can pick from right there, and you can start painting and mixing and doing all sorts of different stuff with it. So everything that I am painting today is done with the colors in that palette. And of course, I will make sure and link everything down in the description box. I do have a coupon code if you want to order that palette. It is Katie10. I will make sure, again, put the link down there. And the palette does sell out fairly quickly. So if you see that it's in stock and you want to get it, make sure you snag it, because they kind of go through like bunches of orders where they will release a bunch and then they'll sell out, and then they have to wait, and then they can release another basically do another order of these palettes, if that makes sense. So if you see that they're sold out, don't worry, they'll be back in stock. But if they get back in stock, you want to make sure and snag it. So I am starting off with painting this little mushroom. I'm just using the nude color for the base of the mushroom, and then the red as the top. And these gel paints are pretty thick consistency, but they don't move, and they're going to be very pigmented. So that's why I like to use them. I can do a lot of hand painting and it's not going to budge and pull and do things that maybe would happen if you were using a gel polish. So that's why I like the gel paints, because they stay where you put them and they're super pigmented. I'm adding some white dots to the top of the mushroom, but then actually I changed my mind, and this is why I was saying it's really good to seal that pigment in, because just in case you need to do what I just did, where you're like not happy with something, you need to wipe it off. You're not gonna erase the pigment that's underneath. And then also I have been curing, like flash curing in between different sections, so that way, again, I didn't have to wipe off the entire mushroom, just the part that I had just done that I didn't like. And then basically what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to correct the shape a little bit. I wasn't super happy with the shape, so you'll see I'm adding a little bit of nude just to kind of alter the shape a little bit, and then also a little bit more red at the top to kind of change the roundness of the mushroom. I wasn't liking how it was looking, so I wiped it off so that I could kind of adjust it a little bit, and then I could keep going. But that's why I have been curing in between each step. So I highly suggest doing that. That way, if you make a mistake or you want to change something, you're not going to have to start all over again. So do curing in between each color, in between each step. That is definitely a big recommendation. So now I'm going around the mushroom and I'm adding some white dots with my dotting tool, and then I'm going to turn them into little stars, and I just think it's cute. Add little twinkly kind of, I don't know, I just love the look of these like 4-pointed stars. I feel like I could add them on everything. So I am using the tiny short liner brush for my nail art brush, and it's pretty much the brush that I use for almost everything. Unless I need like a full long striper brush, I'm always using this brush, so just keep that in mind. So now I wanted to paint like a little beetle on the ring finger, and I believe this color that I'm using right now I did mix. So I kind of mixed a couple different colors together to get this color, because I wanted something not quite as dark as the top of the beetle, but something that still kind of matched. So I mixed something up out of the colors that were in that palette. So you really have like unlimited colors pretty much, because you can mix things together and create your own colors. super awesome. So I am painting his little body, and then I'm gonna add some more shading and some legs and a little head and all the little details. Now for the middle nail, I am painting some leaves, and I recommend curing the stem separately from the leaves themselves if you want to make sure that they don't run together. So you can try that. But also, again, these gel paints specifically are pretty thick, so you usually don't have to worry about things pooling together and then like turning into a giant blob. So that's super nice, but I really love this green color for leaves. It's so pretty. And so I'm just gonna add some foliage on some of these nails. Now for the pinky, I am starting off with adding the little stars around the edge, and then I'm going to fill in with my gold that I go in a little bit. I'm gonna add a moon in the middle of it, and I did actually start by adding a white moon, and then I didn't like it, so I wiped that off, and I was decided I'm just gonna do stars on the outside and then do the moon in gold, and I really loved how that turned out. So for the metallic gold, I'm using this D-Gel painting gel, and it is in the color gold. And it is a really nice metal gel. As you can see, it almost looks reflective in the jar. The one thing about this is you do have to give it a really good stir each time you're going to use it, because it does kind of settle, and you want that gold to be mixed in with that metal paint basically. So I do recommend giving it a good stir each time you're going to use it. I know it's kind of a pain, but if you want it to really look gold, then you need to stir it up. And I did find that this is one of the only that I've tried so far metal gels that actually look gold. So I do have some other metal gels, but I do find that they kind of look a little bit like a white gold once you start painting them on. But this one I find actually looks straight up gold. So that's super nice. You just have to mix it really well before you use it. So I am going to use my short liner brush again, and I'm just painting some gold drips around like the cuticle area of the nails, and I just thought this looked so pretty. And you can see how nice and metallic or kind of metal that gold painting gel is. It's super pretty. So I love gold, so I'm going to add a little bit of gold on each of the nails. And then for the pinky nail, I am going to create a little moon in this gold metallic paint. Now, one thing I noticed when using this, and I'm going to tell you so you don't make the same mistake that I made, is you can't really flash cure this because it will wrinkle pretty significantly. I was trying to flash cure this when I was doing this design because I was filming and I was like, I just wanted to, you know, I didn't want to have to sit there and wait to cure each nail. So I was kind of trying to rush it. So I was flash curing, and I noticed that it caused the gold gel to wrinkle. So because it's reflective, it needs a full cure in order for it to really cure. Otherwise it's just going to wrinkle underneath and you're only going to cure that top layer. So if you see kind of some of the gold that I did in the little later clips, it might look a little wrinkly. It's because I was flash curing. So don't flash cure it, just give it a full cure. If you're working on a client, you know, then work from one hand to the other hand so that that hand that you just did that design on can have a full cure before you come back to it. So that is my little tip for working with this. I also did add some of this gold metal gel onto the beetle as well. I added little dots on his back. So, because you know how like beetles have there are some beautiful beetles out there like that are metallic or iridescent. So I added this little metallic little dots on his back because I thought that that would be really cool as well. So once I finished with those and everything was finished, it was time to do my top coat, my glossy top coat. I do think this would look so good if you top coated it matte and then did the gold. So you had like the matte background and then the gold like details, like the gold drips on it in shiny. I think that would really pretty. You would still have to top coat the gold after you painted it, but you know, so it's a little bit tedious, but I liked both ways, but I was thinking, man, it would look pretty if it was matte too. So I'm just gonna top coat all the nails and then we are good with the design and I love it. I'm so glad I took a little bit to sit down and relax and paint this. So thank you for joining me and I hope you had fun watching me paint this design. One other thing I wanted to mention about this silicone hand that I got, I did get the posable one, so it's not super flexible when you're working. So I found that it made it a little bit difficult to kind of move the fingers and stuff while I was trying to hand paint. I actually find maybe working on an actual client was a little bit easier than the silicone hand, just because you can move their fingers a little bit more, but they also have a non-posable, so that one might be easier to do hand painting and stuff like that. But that's the one thing I noticed when I was working on it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on my social media and I will see you guys later. Have a good day.